everyone. So now our next video is about a translation studies. Yeah, what is translation studies and how it will be applied in literature and everything we are going to see one by one. So today we are going to see translation, what is it and what are all the definitions given by our great authors to the translation. So if we see the picture, there are so many languages are mixed. So according to the surrounding, according to our native, according to the communication, we use so many languages. But the all words have the same meaning, that is a hi. That is a greeting one person while meeting them. So we just greet by some words, no? That is what given in all varieties of languages. Especially the translation is needed when we speak to the person who doesn't know the particular language what we know, but another language. That is an example. We know, maybe I know both Tamil and English, and the opposite person knows only English. He doesn't know Tamil. Then I have to convey my informations or the messages to him or her in the language which the receiver will understand. So here the translation is needed. If suppose I didn't know the language of the receiver, then I have to search for a translator. So like a mediator, I have to search for a translator. So here we see what is a translation. Actually, no one can give the exact meaning of translation. And it is like, what is what? That is both the substitution and the transference of a meaning from one language to another language is called translation. Yeah, we can't say what is what in translation, but as I studied, I can say that this translation cannot be said exactly, but this is what happening. The substitution, that is, the receiver doesn't understand or a reader doesn't understand, so we need a substitute, that is to be called as the language can be understood by the receiver. That substitute is done in the process of translation. And the transference, so it is transferring, no, like an human being transfer from one place to another. Here the language is transferring. So here we have it at message, information in content in one language, that is in one source thing, we translate to another. So it is transferring, the information is jumping to another person with another language by which he can understand. So it is also a transference, we can say, substitution we can say. So that is what doing from one language to another is called a translation. So this is what we can say normally. And the main thing, that is a main process, it is nothing that transforming the content from the source language to the target language. So we have to learn the terms, that is a source language to the target language. See, the first girl know only English. She is speaking to another girl, I need some best vegetarian hotel. So I need some best vegetarian hotel. That is, she is asking her to suggest some best vegetarian hotel to eat. So the person whom she speaks is known Tamil and English. She know both languages, so she can easily make a transfer in her mind and give it to her in English. you can go to Suji restaurant nearby bus stop. So she have to give the location also. Then only she will be easily she can go to the particular place. So here the translation is easily done between the two persons. Why? Because the translator know both languages, the source language and the target language. Both was known by the translator. So the translator easily did the process. Okay, but when what is the source and target language? So it could be known by both person, right? Well versed. Yeah. The translator must be well versed in the language. In which language? In both language. That is the target and the source language. The SL and the TL. From where you are transferring? The originative. If a novel is translated, if it is a Tamil novel, we translating that, then translating into English. The source is from Tamil. So it is Tamil is a source language. English is a target language. If it all an opposite, the English novel is translated into Tamil in the sense the English is the source language. So we have to keep in mind the originated, where it is originated, the content from where is called the source language, where we get the resource, that is the source language, and the target, we aim on the target, in which we have to change. How we will change, in which language. So that is to be a target language. If I am translating a sentence from a Tamil to English or any other language to any other language, I must be well versed in both languages. So that made me to translate the content. If at all I didn't know one language is known by me somehow, not a detailed manner means, then I can't translate. The translation is absolutely wrong. Then if two persons speaking knows only English, another person knows only Tamil. So the person who knows English is asking a question, where is the shopping mall? How the person will answer? The second person know only Tamil. So here we need a third person who knows both. So here the translation arrives, the translator arrives. Okay. So hope you understand. In previous slide we saw two persons only there, but the person who translate, the translator know both languages, so easily the process have done. If at all the two persons unknowingly, that is the person knows only their own native languages, not a communicatable. Both cannot communicate with their own languages, which cannot be understood by both of them. So here they need a translator. The importance of translation arises a lot here. So we can here learn what is a source language and target language, and also the importance of translation is arrived here. So here we see few definitions by a few authors. Yeah. First, Dr. Johnson. He says that translation is a change into the another language, retaining the sense. That is, the sense is there. What is the essential thing to be needed? That is, if at all we say, we speak of 4 sentences, myself is something, that is a name, then I am doing a job in a software field, and whatever work aligned to me, I do it perfectly. This is what a sentence, I make a paragraph. The sense retained, and it is changed into another language which will be understood by the receiver. The same thing will be applied in a novels or dramas, anything. Just changing the language, but the sense is there. What is the main thing, the main output of the content should be there in another language. So this is what Dr. Johnson says about translation. Change is happening, change into another language, retaining the sense. Next, the author A.H. Smith is saying that to translate is to change into another language. We saw change into another language there. Here he is saying to translate is to change into another language, retaining as much of sense as one can. He said retaining sense. So he completed the statement with retaining sense. Somehow sense is there. He is saying as one can. So how he capable, how much the translator is capable of doing the work, he can give it. So the essence, the matter, the absolute content, that is a sense, as much he can, as one can, able, the capable of a translator, the translation will be done. Like that A.H. Smith is saying about translation. And here comes a third author, Catford, linguistic point of view. So the first two authors said the definitions. What is the changing with the retaining the sense, and the retaining the sense as one can. Now linguistic point of view, that is in a linguistic point he is saying the replacement of textual material in one language by equivalent material in another language. So if it is translated from English to a Hindi, in the sense in English we have the textual material, okay, it is written, it is in our hand, it is in a textual material, it is in one language. We have to translate in another language with the equivalent material. We need a equivalent material. For example, if I say happy, happiness, overloaded, happiness, the most happiness in my mind, like that if I say the happiness to be exactly translated into Tamil, mahilchi. So here we retain the sense, the feel, the equivalent material is there. So if at all the equal material is there, the translation is easy. That is in a linguistic point of view. But some words cannot be retained in the sense. Here the translation problem arise. So it will be discussed later. Here they said textual material replaced by an equivalent material in another language. Here comes another author, Peter Newmark, the theory of practice of translation. So the theory and the practice of a translation. Basic laws of meaning is on a continuum between over translation and under translation. He is saying that basically loss of meaning is a continuum between this over translation and under translation. So over this translation and under this translation, there is a main thing. What is that? Loss of meaning. So even one comic scene cannot be recreated exactly in another language. So that colloquial things should be there. No, if for example in a film there is a comic scene, if understood by us, but it cannot be understood by the person who doesn't know the Tamil movie, in the sense he doesn't know the Tamil, but it is a dubbed, but the exact scenario cannot be created. No, the feel, we have some single words. In Tamil we have a lot of meaning for a single letter, and in English they have their specialities. So if we translate, the same sense cannot be reached out there. So here there is a loss of meaning, basic loss of meaning for this explanation of Peter Newmark. I am saying the example as on comic scene in a movie. So this is an example. It may happen in dramas, novels, or anywhere. Okay. Next. So every author have their own point of views and they analyzed, right? Here Theodoret says that translation is an art. So here comes a Jacobson says it is an craft. So Ejena Nida says translation is a science. So here there is a three thing within a few, no changes at all in the statements. Only the changes is a single word, but it creates a lot and lot of meaning, right? So it's an art, craft, science. Everything is inside this translation. A single word translation contains of these much things. So they says all their views. A German host friend says translation is neither a creative art, that is a creative art. We create, no, with our creativeness we can add another things also by as at first our author said, no, Dr. Johnson, retaining the sense. So the sense is that with our creativeness we can add something else. That is to be an art. No, art is absolutely creative. Neither creative art, not an imitative art. So it, as it is like this one. So the same, this novel and this is a both. It is like imitating this novel. So the translation is done. It is imitative art, but somewhere between two. So he's saying that we cannot say this is only the translation is what creative art. No, no. Translation is what imitative art. No, no. It is between somewhere two. It contains both. So everything is included there. So without, if they saw some art in the translation, that is why our previous author said translation is an art. They saw some craft in the translation, that is why they said translation is an craft. And also they have seen some science in the translation, that is why our author Ejena Nida says translation is a science. So something is that is why they can able to define that it is an art, science and also a craft. So everything is mingled at a one place. We can't say this is exactly this is what given. So it will be continued by more author's definition and the problems faced in the translation. So I hope you all will be waiting for upcoming parts and sessions. Thank you all for your patient listening and give you the hope as soon as possible. The next part will be